Did you see? Did you hear? Did you know? Did you see? Did you hear? Did you know? Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what?
Welcome to all of my chameleons. We are back. Welcome to the Say What podcast. I am your host, Shakima D Ford, and y'all just don't understand how happy I am to be back because we took a 2 week break. Because things just got, oh my God, my business has been like I could barely even keep up. So I had to take a break from the podcast for my sanity. But I am back, chameleons. But before we go any further, I got to shout out to the branding company for being the engine and making everything happen, and to Whitfield for the dope intro song. Y'all, I listened to it maybe like 5 times because it just gets me pumped up. Like, it just gets me in a mood, and I'm like, let's go. Gotta shout out the listener of the week. I'm sorry it's been 2 weeks, but I'm going to get you your Cash App. The listener of the week is Isaiah Davis. Thank you, Isaiah. I know you've been rocking with us from day one. You don't miss an episode. You don't miss a live. You never not comment. You never not show love. So shout out to Isaiah Davis. The series. This is part 3 of the series, ladies and gentlemen, from engineer to building her empire as an entrepreneur. And I'm telling you, this is a journey, but it is worth every second. And I'm loving every single moment of it. Now, for those of you that don't know me, let me introduce myself to you. Of course, you know that I was an engineer, right? Because that's what the title of this series is. So that's a no-brainer. But I'm going to talk to you a little bit about about my background and how I even became an entrepreneur. So just take a quick ride with me real quick. So for those of you that are just meeting me for the first time, my name is Shakima D Ford. And I was an engineer for 17 plus years, and I absolutely loved being an engineer. I loved everything about it. I love being in the world of aerospace. And I was able to build some beautiful relationships being in the aerospace world. Just being an engineer, period. I've built some beautiful relationships, some super huge accomplishments. I've saved companies millions. I've made companies millions. And I'm super excited because I never thought that I could do that. I never thought little old me from Jersey City, New Jersey, by the way of Orangeburg, South Carolina, would be able to accomplish the things that I've accomplished. But nevertheless, I can say that what I didn't like about being an engineer was that time freedom was non-existing. And when they say family first, they mean work family first. We're just being honest, and I'm being transparent. And I didn't like the fact that, you have to get permission when you want to take a vacation with your family. I didn't like that. I don't like being told what to do. And especially when it comes to my family, because I'm very, very hands-on. I love love. I love to give love. And I love my family. And I love the hell out of my 2 boys. It wasn't easy to have them. I share my infertility journey, and I'm thankful and grateful that God is allowing me to borrow them. So I'm going to make every second count with them. And I remember having to take them to daycare, and it was like every time I left them, I just felt like a failure. Like, I really have to trust some strangers to raise my kids for 8, 9 hours, 10 hours out of the day. Because nobody's going to love your kids like you do. I hated that every time I left. I remember the first time I dropped both of them off at daycare. They were going on 4 months. And I cried. Oh my God, so bad. I mean, got in the car, cried. I mean, boo-hoo, snot coming down, everything. It was horrible. I would call every hour to check on them. I would go by there because the daycare was not far from my house. So I started taking them 2 weeks before I went back to work to kind of get them in the feel of it. And I would just go by there. I would pick them up early. Like, oh my God. That was tough. But I was introduced to a platform, ladies and gentlemen, and I, like Maxine Waters say, reclaiming my time. I have time freedom. I have flexibility. I get to spend unlimited amounts of time with my kids. If I want to pack up and go visit my mom, my dad, my family, wherever, my friends, I can, because the kids are virtual and I work from anywhere. And I was introduced to this platform by my now mentor and business coach, Mr. Alfred Nixon. And he extended this opportunity to me, and it has just been a game changer for me. And I am super duper excited about being able to change the financial trajectory of generations to come. Like, I get to literally help people in a whole different way. And as far as me, I didn't realize how traumatized I was leaving corporate America. Like, you are literally beat down mentally. I had to regain my self-esteem. Like, I literally, it was like I was just at the bottom of the bottom. But now I am living, I am dreaming again. I have goals. I am believing in myself. My confidence is through the roof. Like, life is good and it gets better and better every single day. So I just wanted to introduce myself to those of you that don't know me. Like I said, for those of you that have been rocking with me since day one, thank you. I love you. I could not be here without you. And for those of you that are tuning in for the first time, thank you, because you could have been doing something else with your time, but you chose to spend it with me. So let's get into this series. The first episode, we talked about mindset. Mindset is everything. Mindset is 80%. Okay? Then we talked about goals. You have to have goals, and you have to have them written down, because you can't hit a moving target. Right? Series 3. Episode 3, I'm sorry. I'm so excited. I'm just so excited. Episode 3 is time management. We are going to cover time management. Why, ladies? Because we think that we can do everything, and we think that Superwoman is a real person. Superwoman does not exist. She only exists in your mind, and you will be drained, beat up, beat down, worn out, thrown in the towel, like, I can't do this anymore. Because entrepreneurship is not for the weak. Entrepreneurship is not for the weary, right? Entrepreneurship will make a woman out of you. A woman out of you. So how do you manage your time? Because it's only 24 hours in a day. So how do you manage your time? The 5 Ds. And I want y'all to write this down. We just going right into it. And y'all know I am very transparent. I believe in keeping it 100. Like, we can have adult conversations. We can make mistakes, right? We can talk about it. We can agree to not disagree, right? And we can still love on each other. So how do you manage your time? The 5 Ds. Okay, write this down. The first one is do. Do what you need to do. Do what you have to do, right? Do income producing activities at all times. Okay? Do income producing activities at all times. Defer. What is defer? Defer means delay, right? Something that you can do later. Something that can be, it's not urgent. It may be high on your list, but it's not urgent. Okay? It's something like maybe, you need to go to the post office because you need to send something, but it's not urgent. Like you can send that card or go to the grocery store to pick up garlic salt because you're running out. Like little things like that. Things that can be delayed. Delegate. Ladies, we have a problem with this. Why? Because I had a problem with this. I've talked to other mompreneurs. I've talked to other wives that are entrepreneurs. I've talked to different women, period. We have a problem with delegating because we think that we are superwoman and we have to do it all the time, everything. And you cannot, because we saw our grandmothers be the mother, be the father. And I'm not speaking about everybody, y'all. I'm always speaking about my experiences and conversations that I've had and interactions I've had with other women. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I speak about my experiences and my interactions with other women. We have a problem with delegating because, like I said, we see grandma being mom, dad. She cooking, she cleaning, she raising all these kids. She going to work. That's exhausting. That is exhausting. I wish my grandmother was still here. I seen her do everything. I wish she was still here. Oh my God. I don't even want to go down that road. But I watched her try to do everything. If you can meal prep, right? You can order your food. Like we're in a pandemic right now. Restaurants are delivering like crazy. You got apps to get your food delivered. People will meal prep your food and deliver it to you, or you can go pick it up. To get somebody to come in and clean up, maybe $50, $75 a week. Depends on your location. I'm telling you, you'll get to live a better quality of life when you, oh my God. We see, some people are going to get offended because we've seen our moms do it, because we've seen our grandmothers do it, doesn't necessarily mean that that was the right way to do things or the most effective and efficient way to do things. But we've been brainwashed to think that we have to do it all. So now we got to rewash our brain and learn how to delegate tasks. You're not going to be able to do everything. If you can delegate, like right now, I have a branding company. They brand me, they market me on social media, they do all my editing, right? I had Whitfield to create a song for the podcast because it's not enough time in the day for me to do everything. And I'm only one person with two hands, with 2 feet, and one brain. I can't do everything, ladies. We are not octopuses, okay? It's only but so much we can do. Delegate. Delete. Some of us are y'all gonna be mad at me, but that's okay because I'm just keeping it real. Delete. Delete unnecessary things. Delete anything that is not income producing. Delete anyone that's not adding value to your life. Delete anything or anyone that's not contributing to you financially, physically, mentally, spiritually. Delete them. If you follow people on social media and they don't add value to your life, delete them. Why are you following them? Last but not least, ladies. D, the last D stands for, think about it, the eggplant, but the D word. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. But dick. Okay? That's the fifth D, because we know sometimes we get a little out of whack, we get out of alignment, and it's just something about that last D that can get you right back in line. It's necessary. I don't care what no woman say, oh, I don't need that. No, baby. That's why you got high blood pressure. That's why your cholesterol high. That's why you walking around here. You don't want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to nobody because you mad. You're backed up. Get some. Okay? Now, for those of us, so we covered the 4D, the 5Ds, right? So for those of us that are coming from corporate America, how do you manage your time? Because when you become an entrepreneur, you make your own schedule. There's a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of time freedom in your schedule. So until you develop discipline in your mind, continue to let your mind think that you're still an employee and that you work for someone else. If you have to be at work, and I've said this before in episode 1, if you have to be at work at 8 o'clock, then start your day at 8 o'clock. But like I said, getting up at 5 or 6 in the morning, that works for me. Because by lunchtime, 80% of my day, I've already tackled that. So in your mind, continue to be an employee until you develop the discipline. So if you have to be at work at 8, be at work at 8. If you take lunch at 12, take lunch at 12. If you get off at 5, get off at 5. But I've said before, entrepreneurs don't take lunch breaks. We just eat whenever we can. Most of the time, I don't even eat in the morning. I don't even think about it. Like, I'm so busy, I don't even eat. Sometimes I don't even eat lunch. And then dinner time, I'm like, okay, it's about time for me to eat. So until you develop that discipline, I want you to keep the employee mindset when it comes to time management. Now, going back to the D's, because we're going to add another D, which is discipline. Because discipline is very important. Because every day you're not going to be motivated, so you have to be disciplined. That's why I said keep the employee mindset when it comes to time management, when it comes to being at work on time, taking a lunch on time. You have to stay disciplined when it comes to managing your time. If not, you're going to be all over the place. So now we have 6 D's. We got do, defer, delegate, delete, dick, and we got discipline. Write those down. I gave you examples of all of them. Now, what if you say, okay, Shakima, I'm kind of like a scatterbrain. I'm all over the place, right? How do I get this thing going? How do I get my days going? Write down every single day. So start a log for 7 days. Start a log and write down everything that you do every single day for 7 days straight. I mean, hour by hour. 7 days straight. Keep a log of everything that you do hour by hour for 7 days straight. That way you get to see exactly what you're doing with your time and where the 6 D's fall into place, because you're going to get to see what you're doing, you're going to see the things that you can defer. You're going to get to see the things that you delegate, that you can delegate. You're going to get to see what you delete. And you're going to have some good sex. And this will allow you to develop discipline. Because as an entrepreneur, with your time, you have to be intentional. Meaning every second, every moment has to count. By being intentional and by being focused, meaning focus on your goals. Remember, we talked about goals in the previous episode. You have to be focused on those goals, and you have to focus on income producing activities. And guess what we're going to do? We are going to add another D. So now we're up to 7 Ds. And the 7th D is driven. You have to be driven. Why is driven so important? Driven is like being focused. Driven is like somebody giving you a blueprint. It's like somebody giving you an address. Right? Y'all know I like to go down these roads, so take this ride with me. When you're driven, nothing stops you. Like, I am driven. I am focused on my goals. I don't have to be motivated every single day because I'm driven. I know what I want, and I know what I need to do. You could be driven by money. You can be driven by your family. You can be driven by your spouse. You can be driven by your friends. Different things drive different people. But you have to be driven. So now we have 7. Do, defer, delegate, delete, discipline, and driven. The 7 Ds of time management. I'm going to tell you about my days. So between 5 and 6, I'm up. I have meditation and devotion, and we talked about this in mindset. Meditation, it dictates how you respond to things throughout the day. Let me give you an example. The other day, I got in the shower, and my oldest son, QJ, was in virtual school. Carter's the youngest. He was on his iPad. And it was calm, cool, collective. Everything was good. I got out of the shower, and the oldest one, when I was washing my face, he said, he came in, he's like so dramatic, y'all. Like, just all the drama. Anyway, make a long story short, he told me, he was like, Mom, I know you're going to kill me because I just did something. He was like, but to me it's not big, but I know to you it's a big deal. So I'm like, Lord, just give me the strength, please. He said he wasted something on the refrigerator. So I just thought it was juice or, just something, yogurt, whatever. Him and Carter were making slime with sparkly glue. And they mixed it with water. And they were trying to put it in the freezer. And they wasted on the inside. I had to take all the rags out and I had to clean up all that glue. I didn't flip. I didn't spank them. I just explained to them that when you're making science projects, you have to have adult supervision, like your mom or your dad has to be around. And if you're making science projects, they definitely don't go in the refrigerator where we store the food that we eat. So I just cleaned it up and I continued to get ready for because I had 2 meetings at 2 o'clock that day. So I just had to get ready for my meeting, and I'm telling y'all, I got on there like nothing ever happened. Like, hi everyone. Like nothing. So meditation and devotion. Start your day out with meditation and devotion before you even pick up your cell phone, because sometimes we'll get on those phones and next thing you know, you're like, oh my God, I'm on social media. Like just scrolling through. If I work out, I work out in the morning. So once I do my meditation and devotion, I'll work out. And I'm a work in progress. I'm a work in progress. I made juice. If I didn't make it the day before, I'll juice. But like I said, most of the time, I don't even eat. I get showered. And then I get QJ up for school. And once QJ is up for school, his first class starts at 9 o'clock. So I'm just appointment, meaning my consultations every 30 minutes. I have consultations, whether it's a Zoom or whether it's a phone call. But everything I have is written down. Game changer. Remember I said write down everything you do for 7 days straight. Hour by hour. Why do I say that? Because that's what I had to do. And now I have to have a planner. And I have to write everything down hour by hour. I don't care if it was calling my auntie Doris, because I had to write that on my planner to call her. Because my days are consumed with virtual learning. My days are consumed with consultations because I'm helping people and servicing people every single day. So every 30 minutes is a consultation, a phone call, a Zoom. If it's do something for my dad, or do something for my husband, or go to the grocery store, I got to write Whole Foods and schedule, everything, every hour, every 30 minutes. I have to write everything down. If not, I'm going to be a nutcase around here, and you're going to be all over the place. And I have to write it down in a planner. Like I tried doing it in your phone on those apps. That was a joke for me because I just couldn't do it. Like I need to see it. Like I have to walk around with the planner. And I have to look at it. And like even with my team, they know, like if they say, Coach, can you so-and-so at 2 o'clock? I'm like, sure. And they like, did you write it down? Because they know if 2 or 3 people call and ask me that for some, to do something with them at 2 o'clock, I'm going to say yes because I didn't write it down, so I have no recollection of it. And I want to help everybody. But if I don't write it down, I'm doing myself an injustice. I'm doing my team an injustice. I'm doing my family and friends an injustice. I don't even talk to my mom every day. I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't have time. Like, when I'm talking to people, it's about business. It's about business adventures. We're getting into investments. Like, income producing activities is how my days have to be. And I'm a podcaster. So I don't have time to waste. I don't, because let me tell you something. The most expensive thing that we spend is time. Because you can never get that back. And you ever heard the saying, you have more time than money? I would argue that, and I said that before, because you don't really know how much time you have. And the richest person in the world on their dying bed would not say, I wish I had more money. Even the poorest person on their dying bed wouldn't say, I wish I had more money. They're going to say, I wish I had more time. So time management is key. That's how you stay in control of your life. Of course, we know life is going to happen, right? Life's going to throw you a curveball, and we can't control that. But the things that you can control, you need to manage. All right, ladies. So promise me, promise yourself that you are going to manage your time. You are going to write down your hourly activity for 7 days straight. And that way you can decipher the do's, the defers, the delegations, the deletions. One dick, ladies. One dick, okay? Develop discipline and stay driven. All right? You know, we got to take some questions, right? We got 4 questions. Well, we have more questions than that, but you know, we can only do 4 questions. So we are going to get into the questions. And ladies and gentlemen, I have to say that I am absolutely enjoying every single moment of this series. And guess what? This series is going to be turned into an ebook. So I'm super excited about that. For one, because I never thought that this would be my life. But I am so thankful and grateful. And remember, if I can do it, so can you. Like, I am pouring everything that I have into this because I want to see everyone be successful, whether you're a man or a woman. Now, this series, I can speak more to women because I'm a woman. I'm a mompreneur. I'm a wife, right? So I can't tell a man how to be a husband, how to be a man in our new world, but I can speak to moms. I can speak to women. I can speak to wives. Okay? So men, you can take notes from here too, but I can relate more to women. But I love you just as much. Okay, let's get into these questions, ladies and gentlemen. Let's pay our respects. And then we're going to come back and we are going to answer these questions.
Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what?
All right, all right. We are back. So we have 4 questions. So the first one says, I find myself doing what's urgent and not what's important. Help. That's a really good question. That's a really good question. I'm going to give you some advice. And, we get these questions before we even record. But this question was answered in here. So that's a really good question. When it comes to doing what's urgent and what's important, the 7 D's. The 7 D's. Write down what you're doing for 7 days straight, hour by hour. That's going to put everything into perspective for you. Okay? Second question. How do you make time for everything? That's funny because I can't make time for everything. That's why it's so important that you make every second count. That's why you have to do income producing activities. Okay? Everything is going back to the 7 D's. You do income producing activities. What can be deferred and delayed, do it on a later date. Delegate. Let somebody else prepare your food. Let somebody else clean your house. Moms, we know we got to be teachers, nurses, psychiatrists, psychologists, everything. Everybody's everything. And I know that I teach my son very well. I mean, hands down. I understand that my son learns differently, and I know how to teach him because we have that relationship, and I am like dedicated you know, spending time with him when it comes to making sure he gets his schoolwork done. But I can't do everything. So now they both have tutors twice a week because I can't do it. I can't do it all. Remember I said Superwoman only exists in your mind? You're going to be dirt tired. You want to live a good quality of life because we don't know how much time we have here. So we want to live a good quality of life. So you don't have time for everything, but write down everything that you do for the next 7 days, hour by hour, and refer back to the 7 Ds. Third question. I have a habit of sleeping in since I've been working for myself. What should I do? We talked about that as well. I mean, if you're just fresh from, you just left your job, however it happens, and, now you're an entrepreneur, congratulations, hats off to you because it takes a lot of guts, right, to become an entrepreneur. I don't care what nobody says. So pat yourself on the back, give yourself a round of applause right now, stop what you're doing and do that because it takes guts. It takes courage to be an entrepreneur. It does. It takes just a little bit of faith because you don't have that. The average person is not going to have that cushion anymore. So if you're just fresh off your job, you deserve that. You've been working however long for somebody else. Take a week or two, sleep in, enjoy it, lay in the bed and scream, jump into bed if you want to, kick your feet up in the air, enjoy it, drink wine in the morning, do whatever. I'll give you 2 weeks and that's it. And I'm being very generous. Then you get back on your grind. Now you have to get into the discipline, right? So enjoy your 2 weeks. Now you got to get into the discipline. You're not just going to wake up one morning as an entrepreneur and be disciplined. It's going to take nights. But every day you need to get better when it comes to having that discipline. So if you used to being at work at 8, start at 8. If you're used to taking a lunch at 12, 11, whatever time you do that. If you're used to getting off at a certain time, do that until you develop the discipline. Because I'm going to tell you this about entrepreneurship. It's no such thing as a start time and an end time when it comes to being an entrepreneur. Because you may work 12, 13, 14, 15-hour days. You may not even realize it. I work a lot of hours every single day, 7 days a week. And I'm getting better with that as well because I've designated at least one day, and I talked about this before, one day of rest. One day of just rest. Like no cleaning, no nothing. Just laying in the bed, letting your body rest and reset. Okay? Last question. Virtual learning is throwing my days off. What can I do? Oh my goodness. And don't think you're being a bad mom because you can't be your kid's teacher. That's not being a bad mom. That's saying I need help. Everything goes back to the 7 whys. Is that something you can delegate? Is virtual learning something you can delegate? Get a tutor. Get somebody to come in, every other day or a couple days a week, or do Zoom. I mean, tutors are maybe $15, $20 an hour. And 1 hour a week or 2 hours a week can make a hell of a difference. My kids have tutors now. They get tutored twice a week because I don't have the time, so I delegated that task. Now, am I still going to check up on them with their work? Of course, I'm going to do that, but I don't have the time to sit there and do assignment after assignment after assignment after assignment. And I realized, too, the way I teach my son, although I understand how he learns, and I, spoke that with the tutor, but I don't have the time. And, I'm old school when it comes to teaching. Like, they do math totally different now. I'm like, what are you doing? And I'm like, And he loves to say, "Mom, that's not how we do it in school." Yeah, but you're gonna get the same answer. Like, go back to the basics, go back to the foundation. So that was stressful. So yeah, delegate. Get your kids a tutor. You can find maybe some kids that are in college because their tutor, she's in college. She's a sophomore in college. So they want to earn extra income. And they're smart, they're energetic, they understand how the teachers are teaching. And she's awesome. She's a math major. So she's awesome. Delegate. I'm telling you, ladies, I want you to live a good quality of life. And you do that by categorizing everything you do for the next 7 days, hour by hour, into the 7 Ds. Do, defer, delegate, delete, dig, discipline, and driven. Okay? I love you all, and I wish we could stay here all day, but we can't. Thank you for tuning in. As I say, you could have been doing anything else with your time, and you chose to spend it with me. Don't forget that every week we have a listener of the week that we announce. Okay, so next week it'll be the person that shared our. So, okay, let me give you the rules. So you have to share on your story a screenshot of you listening to the podcast. You have to tag 3 friends. And you have to comment on the listener of the week post. And that comment could be tagging the 3 friends. And then we announce you, and you get the $50 Cash App from the Say What podcast. Because we love you. And that's just what we do. We are very generous. We're in the world of serving. That's what we do. As I always say, thank you to the Brandon Company for being the engine and making this happen. I would not be where I am without you. Thank you, Whitfield, for this dope song. It is so fitting for the podcast. It is so fitting for me. I absolutely love it. And I get so excited every time I hear it. To all of my chameleons, thank you for rocking with me from day one. Thank you for all the support. And for those of you that just started rocking with me today, thank you. And I look forward to the next episode. All right, y'all be safe and be blessed. And remember, if you see someone that needs a smile, give them one of yours.
Did you see? Did you hear? Did you know? Did you see? Did you hear? Did you know?